So I've known Janice forever. She is one of the smartest UX designers, thinkers in the space.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
And so you've got a lot of thoughts on
This one? Great, thank you.
Oh, I didn't know you were advising TaskRabbit. Oh, interesting.
I am. I have been for 4 years. I have the wrong dongle.
Oh, let's see. Oh, maybe on this side.
Oh,
There we go, yeah.
you're right.
Okay.
Yeah. I also have too much hair.
There you go. Boom.
Okay.
Perfect.
Is it coming out?
Let's see. Usually takes a second. Toggle. And you need to mirror. Let's mirror.
All right.
Real quick. Is it hot out there in the audience, or is it just hot on stage? Hey, can we put the AC way up? Like, just blast that AC, please. And I would love a Diet Coke with ice. You want
Awesome
drink?
Diet Coke.
You want Diet Coke with
No,
ice?
no Diet Coke for me. A little water.
Yeah,
Water
let's
would be
get a
awesome.
water for Janice, please.
It is warm up here.
All right, so let's talk about what's going on in retail. You had some trends you wanted to share, so let's start with your first one.
Yeah, sure. So I actually ended up with 4 trends. So after our conversation, I split out and we went for another one. And what I want to do in terms of framing is to explain that I come from this from the point of view of a user-centered designer, sort of a service designer, thinking about this all from the consumer side rather than from a technology-specific side or from any particular retailer. And I think that there are some really interesting things happening with some of the companies that we've already talked about today.
Yeah.
But if you frame it from that customer perspective, you see some different stuff. So the first one is, how do we choose what products to offer? And I look exclusively at the early stage startup space right now, and I think that there are some really kind of shocking ways that products are getting chosen. So this is a kids' clothing retailer. They do some mommy and me kind of stuff that's very cute and quaint, and the clothes are adorable, whatever. What's amazing about this company is how they decide what it is they're gonna sell. So today, I counted 17 new products. This is how they announce a new product on Facebook. They just put a post up with a cute little picture, and then they wait for people to like it. So this is another new product that was put up today, this little mommy, or this little baby set. So 17 of these products, and what they look for is, are people liking it? Are there, here's 17 people like it. Down here, you're going to see probably some that people bought. So here, so this person actually bought it simply by putting in their email address, right? So every single day, Lolly Wally Doodle puts a bunch of products online and decides whether or not they're going to make a whole bunch of them or if they're just going to make a couple, right? The best sellers, they send off to China and they add to their permanent collection.
Wow. So they're putting out just prototypes.
Yep.
And the customers are picking which ones go to production.
Yep.
Based on liking.
Absolutely.
How is that going for Lolly? Has anybody heard of Lolly Wally? Am I the only? Okay, wow. Yeah, some people know what this is.
It's
how long have they been doing this?
A couple years, like 3 years.
Yeah.
It's sort of a come out of nowhere, didn't get Silicon Valley funding. Now they're doing like something crazy like $500 million of business a year. Like amazing.
$500 million.
Yeah. Like,
wow.
Like crazy big. Crazy big. And it's all on Facebook. They're the first retailer to really hit Facebook big time.
But they're not having like 3,000 people. They're having dozens of people vote in on this stuff. So
well, those are the likes that we see. They have 1 million likes total on Facebook. So they're like one of the whales of Facebook.
So this is sort of a big trend is, hey, what are we going to make?
Right. And so here's another one just to make sure that the guys are, yeah, there we go. So same kind of deal, only a male brand. This happens to be female. Here we go. Dudes, right?
Yeah, that's
awesome.
The last one was kind of interesting.
This is Beta brand.
Yeah.
Right?
Highly suggestive.
Yeah, well, it is Beta brand. They are, they're edgy, let's say.
Yeah.
And the thing that's really cool about what Beta brand is doing is that they have this crowdfunding section, right? So they have a think tank where they're like, here are things we think about making. And it turns out...
Oh, okay. It's not as bad as I thought. That's a 5-pocket dress pants, sweatpants.
Yes.
So that's definitely a phone pocket that we're seeing there.
That is a...
That is a cell phone pocket.
You know, I didn't even notice that when I looked at that picture. So.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to notice. But anyway... Or maybe it's me, I don't know. But the work it scored, I thought this is particularly brilliant.
Yes, it's
This is
skirt plus pants.
a skirt plus pants. My
Right.
wife's going to love that. And you can put your wallet in it, which
And
is
you can
genius.
put your wallet in it, and yeah, suddenly you have
And
something
the
awesome.
first one is 100% of gold. Second
Yeah.
one's 254% of gold. And then the yoga,
Yeah, but look at this one. 3,700% of gold, and they put that into production. It's now part of their permanent line.
gray dress pant, yoga pants. It's just yoga pants. But for some reason, it spoke to
Yoga
people.
pants, but it's office appropriate. They look very
Let me see
tidy.
those. I may want those. Oh, those are just for women? That's a
Well,
bummer.
I'm sure they have a guy version.
I'm joking.
you
So
can
that's
check that out.
fascinating. You could go to work in yoga pants. I see
Yeah.
why this is appealing
See?
to people.
Right? There you go.
So this is just straight up R&D, and the people who are committing to this are committing to actually buy it.
That's right.
They're giving their money in advance.
And they do it in the crowdfunding model, so you get a bigger discount if you're one of the first people to vote.
Oh,
that sort of
really?
thing. Yeah.
Ah, that's fascinating.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Okay,
Pretty cool.
amazing.
So then, moving away from fashion for a second, this is happening as well in the physical goods market. So this is anything you can make out of plastic is what Quirky does. And real people inventing real stuff. What's super cool is that they then engage the community. Right here it says, what price would you consider this product too cheap or of poor quality? They have this thing where the community decides how it's designed, how it's priced, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that was the one of the perch examples earlier this morning, the egg dropper and this octopus.
The plug is one of their best sellers.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. So let's
So-
keep going. We'll put the
Yep.
thing back up.
So that's the first trend, is choosing what products to put on sale. The second trend, look at all the crap on my desktop.
And so, by the way, there was an announcement today. You're selling your company to Pivotal?
Well, we're not going to call it a sale or an acquisition or any of that. My entire team is joining Pivotal.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So LUXr is moving to Pivotal so that we can really have a much bigger stage to do lean startup kind of innovation work.
Oh, well, congratulations on
Thank you
that.
very
That's
much.
very
So
exciting.
this is a big day for us. So lots of
Wow.
emails are going out right now by
All right, well, big round of applause. Congratulations on joining Pivotal.
Thank you
Great
very
company. Okay, so trend 2.
Okay, so trend 2 is this picking off steps in the customer journey. So we've talked a lot about some of these food startups, but I want to put this into context. Imagine what is the customer journey for making dinner. It's, I'm going to sit down with my husband on Sunday and decide what meals we're going to make for our kid, and then we make the grocery list based on what meals we're going to cook, and then we go to the grocery store, and then we come home and we prep the vegetables, and then we cook, and that's a 5-step customer journey. Well, startups are picking off each of these little steps in the customer journey, and the one that I love is Blue Apron, but there are several others around doing this, where you get a box and they say, here are the 6 menus that you can choose from for this week. So I don't have to say, my husband's name also happens to be Jason. I don't have to say, hey Jason, what are we going to cook for dinner this week? We're like, okay, we're going to have the beef and bulgur, chicken thighs and tuna, right? And then the box comes and we make the dinner, right? It's just
Has anybody ever tried one of these box things? Did you? Wow, really?
Yeah.
Did you guys like it, or? Really?
Yeah, people love them.
Is it high quality stuff?
Very well-picked
And
ingredients. It's
the-
essential that they're well-picked ingredients, otherwise you'll never buy again.
Right, so the ingredients come, but are they coming from a local vendor and they drop it off, or are they UPSing this to you? It's a courier?
It's
lots
a
of
lot of
packaging,
packaging.
yeah.
It would not raise the bar of your environmental requirement. Not at all. This is why I don't use it for my own family.
But they basically, it's almost like a better way of going to Whole Foods. They're basically telling you, here's your Whole Foods in a box.
That's exactly how they're
And-
positioning it.
got it.
Absolutely. Another one of the same ilk is Plated. And you can go on YouTube
Yep.
and you can look at unboxing. Go Plated unboxing, and there will be videos of people, and so you can see what it's going to be like when you get it. But in this category, I would also put Amazon Fresh, right? So Amazon Fresh has been doing heavy marketing. We have a very tall staircase in Noe Valley right on the J Church line. So we keep getting free Amazon Fresh bags because I think it's product placement in the neighborhood, these huge bags on our front step. And I think that I'm going to bring groceries to your door because you have Amazon Prime, it's free kind of thing, all of that sort of positioning is definitely picking off parts of this customer journey.
No, wait, isn't Amazon Fresh, because we actually signed up for it, and it was 3 months free, but then it was a couple $100 a year. Isn't there like a charge?
Yeah, but then you get your, Prime free.
Oh, so they
Prime is
upsell you
included.
$250 on this. So it's like a
Yeah.
$150 upgrade to Prime.
Exactly.
$3 a week.
Yeah.
How many people here use Amazon Fresh? Anybody here use that? Is that here? Oh, I don't think it's here in New York.
No.
But yeah, it's definitely on the West Coast. And is the
Very
quality there?
aggressive marketing. I'll tell you, all they have given us is like Kraft products. I'm sorry if there's anybody from Kraft and Unilever, and so we're not interested.
Huh.
I'm afraid I'm that kind of snob.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
some people, they're driving around all the time, so they're either blowing a lot of gas or they're doing really well. One or the other.
Interesting.
We'll see. And the other one, kind of on the other end of the spectrum, is Munchery. Munchery is, great chefs with excess capacity bring a pre-cooked dinner to your home. So I know that some executives, at least in Silicon Valley, are now using Munchery to feed their family because they're not getting home from work until 8 o'clock at night. But there's a Munchery meal waiting for them and their kids.
Great.
I think it's very expensive, but these
Well,
are...
it looks like $11 a serving. So if delivery is included, which I don't know if it is, but if delivery was included or reasonable, it would sort of might even be cheaper than Postmates. I don't know.
Yes, it is definitely cheaper than Postmates. But each of these is like taking a customer journey and picking off pieces and seeing if you can optimize that piece. And when we think about the future of retail, I think that this is a really interesting approach. So that is our trend number 2. Next trend.
And so you see that happening to a Lord & Taylor or a Barney's, maybe different sections might be, somebody might make the makeup experience or the fragrance experience or the shoe experience better?
Absolutely. I think that if you think about like what is the process of buying shoes or what is the process of buying makeup, these are really complicated processes. And I think if you look at it from a customer journey standpoint, you come up with a very different kind of solution rather than just presenting a 20% off coupon. No offense intended to the 20% off coupon people. I love those coupons, but it's not enough. We need more innovation than that. So here's a real quick. You were just mentioning makeup. Here we go.
Yeah.
Real quick. So here's my customer journey for makeup. I read about new products in my, Lucky magazine. I go to Nordstrom and I have to decide, do I go to NARS or do I go to Bobbi Brown? And how do I decide between NARS and Bobbi Brown? Like, seriously? I have no idea, right? Or I read about the toxins, like, oh my God, I'm putting like toxic stuff on my face. So I go to Whole Foods and I stand in the Whole Foods aisle and I stare and there are no brands that stand out, right? So there's no like
recognizable brand.
How do you decide, right?
Right.
Or I take an afternoon off and have a girls' day and go to Sephora and I spend an hour with a salesperson and I leave with $300 of cosmetics and I do that once every 3 years, right? Like,
Yeah.
This is not a good shopping experience. We need innovation. And there are a bunch of companies trying to innovate here. And I know I need to go fast. I've got a lot that I could
okay.
say. Madison Reed is actually reinventing hair color. Oh my God, seriously? They're taking out all the toxins and they're making hair color at home something that is done by younger women rather than just by your grandma.
Yeah.
So they've taken out all the ammonia, they've taken out all of the phthalates, all that kind of junk.
And so they're going direct to consumer with a better product.
Absolutely.
And simplifying and maybe even, do these things
But why shouldn't I get this kind of product from a Lord & Taylor?
Right. So this is what Lord & Taylor has to do, or Barney says, you have to think about each category and how to optimize each one.
That's right. And and just to make sure that men aren't left out of this, particularly African American men, have a real problem with razor rash, right, with ingrown hairs. And so there's innovation happening, and not just a little bit, there's a lot of innovation happening in the razor space. Like, who knew that razors needed to be, like, reinvented? I had no idea.
Yeah, I mean, also, it was really the cost, which we never even thought about how much we were spending on razors until Dollar Shave Club.
Absolutely.
And, anybody here use Dollar Shave Club, I wonder? Any guys? Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when you look at the fact that African American men were not being satisfied by their shaving experience, like, I had no idea. I don't know if you can see this, but there's like bumps, no bumps. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So there are these ways where the customer journey on these personal items really needs to be reinvented big time.
Yeah, I mean, even down to specific demographics or specific age groups,
Yep.
it's gonna be optimized for everybody.
Yep. Likewise, nail polish. I think Cult is one of the awesomest brands that has come out in the last few years. I don't use it, but I know a lot of young women who do. But again, it's like so this fast fashion idea, I'm gonna choose real quick what to manufacture. I'm going to manufacture it with a really efficient supply chain, and I'm going to use values and whatnot that are really in line. So this is toluene-free, camphor-free, cruelty-free, et cetera. Super, super hot brand. So I think that's really super cool. And the last one that I want to show is my favorite because this is where I actually am a customer. You know how 15 years ago we talked about disintermediating and that was the big trend? We're re-intermediating now. This is the innovation.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you mean by that? We're slowing things down?
I mean this. No, we're inserting a person into the buying process. So, you think about the Nordstrom customer, the Lord & Taylor customer, one of these, high-end department stores, Saks Fifth Avenue. I'm not going to go in there and drop $3,000 on an outfit to go to a conference or whatever without having someone advise me because, seriously, I am not as well-dressed as some women that, I wish to emulate. So I have a stylist. This is actually my account on my it's called Share Some Style, and I have hired from this national network of stylists, and, I look at outfits, we talk about them. She came and did a closet audit, right? So she came and cleaned out my closet, just like, on television they do. And she made a shopping list for me, we went shopping together, and so there are new people being inserted into the customer's purchase decisions. And unless retailers, kind of the bricks and mortar retailers start to understand that process better, they're going to have some trouble. So I'll tell you, I went to Bloomingdale's and had a personal shopper help me buy an outfit. I was going to the White House to do a training, right? I'm like, I need to look good, right?
Yeah.
Michelle needs to, respect me.
Right.
And I ended up returning the outfit because it was awful.
Yeah.
And it wasn't me. And so this is the solution to that problem.
And you would trust this person over,
Sure.
because they're independent of store.
Well, they're independent of store, but more than that,
Or brand, yeah.
She came and spent 2 hours in my house, talking to me, looking at the clothes I had purchased, looking at my lifestyle, talking.
And what do
about
they cost? $50 an hour or something?
It depends on the
an hour?
stylist. It's between 75 and 100 an hour.
Right.
Right.
But if
So I
they
spend about $250 every time I see my stylist, and I'll see her 4 times a year.
And I'm assuming they'll save you money because you won't have waste, and they'll
Yes.
know how to get the great
Absolutely.
look for less.
That's right, and I look way better. Like seriously, I look
Yeah.
so much better than I used to.
Awesome. I want to get this.
Yeah.
My wife wants me to get this.
Well, the other thing that I do is like this necklace that I'm wearing on stage, like this
Yeah.
was picked out by my Roxbox consultant.
What's Roxbox?
It's Netflix for jewelry. $20 a month. I get 3 pieces. I keep the ones I like. I can wear them as long as I want. It's like I have tripled my spend, more than that. In the last couple years, I have probably spent $200 on jewelry. In the last 5 months since joining Roxbox, I've spent way more than that.
So this is like the old CBS Columbia Records. They send you a couple of records, and you send it back if
Exactly.
you don't like it.
So we're returning to these old tried and true models.
Yeah.
So it was funny, we were talking about the repurposing of these gigantic 11-story stores. The LUXr office that I've been in for the last 4 years is an old Sears warehouse, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the showroom on one side, the warehouse fulfillment on the back side, and it was the first building converted in San Francisco to live workspace.
So when you get this Roxbox,
Yep.
you keep some percentage of the jewelry and pay for it.
You keep whatever you want.
Right, and the rest you send back.
Yep.
And it's the same jewelry you would get in Lord & Taylor or another place.
Absolutely the same brand.
Same brands.
Yep.
Just a different process.
Yep.
Now, let's talk about omni-consumers. If Lord & Taylor had this as an option, would you return them to Lord & Taylor and swap them out there? Or if you could return them and get your next box a little bit earlier, would you do it?
Sure. So I can return as often as I want. I would love to be able to drop off at the counter, right? If I'm on a shopping trip and I want to drop off so right now I've lost my envelope and I have to wait for a new envelope to arrive.
Yeah, that whole old Netflix problem.
Yeah, I need to drop off. I would love to drop off my Roxbox, but I want them to choose for me. So I would never have picked up a necklace like this. This is way too blingy for a conservative girl like me. Girl like me, not really. But it's gotten me way out of my comfort zone. It's allowed me to try new things and see how they work in my real life. So as a consumer journey, how do I choose jewelry as an idea, right? This is a really interesting thing to re-intermediate, to have a stylist actually make decisions on your behalf. I think it's really interesting. And just so that you know, men are involved too.
I know about this trunk club. I know
Yep.
people who, have any guys here used trunk club, by the way?
Or Tie Society, that's my other.
Tie-dye, okay, 2, I see.
Yep, Tie Society is basically Roxbox for dudes.
For like accessories?
It's ties.
It's just ties.
Ties, well, it's ties and now tie accessories, tie tacks, tie pins, tie
Yeah, nobody wears those
pocket
anymore.
squares. I think they're
Very
trying to bring
sad.
it back.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Oh, yeah, I know, but
But the Trunk Club is
right.
interesting.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing Trunk Club? Somebody over here raise their hand, or somebody over there? How long? 2 years.
And you like it? You must. Yeah.
What do you spend per month on that?
$60? Yeah.
$60 a month? So you spent $1,500 on them for 2 years? You're a real customer.
Yeah.
Wow.
It turns out if you actually deliver value to the customer, they come back more.
I mean, I could see this, like if Barney's had, like I would trust the Barney's folks to
Yeah.
like do that box and then send it to you with a couple, or James Purse box. Like I would do that.
A James Purse box. James Purse, one of my favorite brands.
So what is this?
So Le Tote is a lot more like Trunk Club because it's for garments. So I haven't gotten my first box yet, but I have signed up for it. This would be great if it came from Bloomingdale's or a Nordstrom's or a Lord & Taylor. I go in and I click the heart and say, like, I like the whatever Millie Peplum blouse, right?
Yep.
So please send that to me. I get 3 garments if I subscribe for a certain value. And if I like them, I keep them. If not, I send them
Okay,
back.
so same model, yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
So those are my trends in retail from a user-centered design point of view.
All right. Well, this is awesome. Any questions from the audience about sort of where this is all going? And congrats again on the pivotal
Thank you so
stuff.
much.
That's awesome. This is a really great presentation. Any questions or thoughts on this from the audience and this new stuff? I think that people are just processing all of
I
this.
have a question real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Brendan.
Which of these that you showed a whole bunch of them, do you think have the best chance of breaking into the market and making the biggest splash?
Well, so I think that I'm going to hold off on making any kind of prognostication. That's his job, not mine.
But which one would you invest in? Or let's put it that way. Which one is going to get the biggest and be the most profitable?
I would invest in Rocksbox. We'll see about Le Tote. I like Le Tote. I think any of the small brands of cosmetics have potential, but
Do you
they need
think
to be
that
part of
investing in a
larger.
cosmetics company would be a good idea?
No, I didn't say I would invest in it.
I'm
I think
joking.
they have potential. I think that they need to be acquired by larger brands. I really do. I think the only way these larger brands, like how is Procter & Gamble going to reinvent itself? Seriously.
So you think there's an incredible opportunity for these startup makeup brands to get purchased
Absolutely.
at a premium, which makes it a good idea for an angel
Absolutely.
investor.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's tons of innovation to be done in makeup.
Not just makeup, but skincare and that whole personal care category is absolutely ripe for reinvention. It's been exactly the same, dominated by a very small number of players who own the market, and I think that
Yeah, it was a completely confusing process, as you just demonstrated. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. We have one question right here. Here's a microphone right behind you. Thanks.
I'm going to follow on the last question. Is it conceivable that all of these smaller startups would kind of combine forces or get rolled up not by a large retailer, but by a holding company that understands the value and isn't associated with brick and mortar?
That's a fantastic question.
So 2 parts to that question. One, is it conceivable that there would be a roll-up of many of these brands? Absolutely. I think that there should be, frankly, but we need a lot more of them. I think it's brand new, that particularly on the consumables side, that we're seeing new offerings. Those offerings are only possible, I think, because of technology, because there's technology enabling them to reach a large number of customers through some of these non-traditional media, whether it's social media or Facebook or what have you. So rolling that up would be a really smart move. It could get you, like, you know how method cleaning products became kind of a big deal? You could kind of see it going that direction. But we'll need more of these startups to do that. And then what was the second part of your question?
No, I think that was the question. It makes total sense. Yeah.
What differentiates all these is simply the alignment of a retail category with an audience.
Yes.
And the mechanics of the business are absolutely the same.
Yes.
There is a incubator accelerator in Los Angeles called Science, and they did Dog Vacay, and they do Home Hero and a bunch of these other sort of marketplaces.
Yep.
And they've done some of the box kind of stuff, although they've had mixed results with that. And they sort of are an accelerator of these things, but actually they did Dollar Shave Club as well, although I think they came in later on that. And their idea is to spin them out and see how big they can get, but certainly a large company like a Walmart would be wise to put $1 billion aside and just start buying these, or Amazon, which did buy Zappos
Yes.
and diapers.com
Absolutely.
and some other ones, but this direct-to-consumer products, there's something magical about them because of the
Yeah.
focus and the process, like you're saying.
You know, maybe the Uber theme here is about brands, is about having a whole new set of brands to sell. And I think that the brands growing online and then moving into bricks and mortar is the really interesting potential. And doing that under an umbrella, under an umbrella brand would be really interesting. Like, what if there was, what is the store brand equivalent for one of these high-end? You know, Sephora has its own brand. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be
know, I think-
amazing if you could, when you went to Walmart, it had a perch for Dollar Shave Club.
Totally.
And you basically could sign up for Dollar Shave Club there and never come back to the store for that. But they would make some percentage of that, right?
Absolutely, or do a Dollar Shave Club pop-up store.
Yeah.
Right? And just see how it goes.
Great.
I think that there's just all sorts of interesting stuff happening.
All right, well, let's hear it for Janice. Wonderful job. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.